Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is a slightly different take on our dearest Nezuko. I've gone with a bit of an AU, but I've kept it within the Known Demon Slayer alternatives, which is Kimetsu Academy. And you are about to confess to your year-long crush, Nezuko Kamado. Good luck. It was another day at school. Not just any school, mind you, it was Kimetsu Academy to be exact. But really, I shouldn't say that it was just another day, since it was actually Valentine's Day and you'd made some chocolates for your crush. She was a funny sort of girl, loved to bite into bagels but never really eat them. She just kept them in her mouth and carried them around like that, but you thought it was kind of cute. It was unique, that's for sure. Aside from that, she seemed to be a friendly sort of girl, happy and calm, and you liked that about her. As soon as you entered the school, you could hear lots of chatter and could see lots of exchanges of chocolates going on, and started to feel the nerves rising from your kneecaps. See, on top of giving Nezuko some chocolates for Valentine's, there was something else that you were stressing about, asking her out. See, you were female, and she was female, and you had no idea if she was into girls or not, but you were going to give it a red-hot shot anyway. Shoot your shot, right? No time like the present. You clutched the chocolates to your chest as you walked around the couples gathering in the hallway and made for your locker to put your things away. As soon as you put your stuff in and got your books out, you turned and headed for your homeroom. With the chocolates still in your hand, you walked into the classroom and stopped. There she was, sitting at her desk with her gorgeous long black hair with slightly pink tips laying flat against her back. You swallowed thickly. "Hey, Yin," your male best friend called out when he saw you, and you startled so quickly you almost dropped everything in your arms. "Oh, sup?" you asked, trying to act casual as you hid the chocolates from him. "Who are the chocolates for?" he asked, spotting them immediately. Someone?" you replied vaguely. "Who?" he pressed. "Dude," you deadpanned at him. "Not now?" you added with a hiss as you glanced in Nezuko's direction. He saw that you glanced off somewhere and so turned his head to look and saw that Nezuko and the other girls were chatting and laughing together. "Oh," he hummed slyly. "You're aiming for the top, huh? You know she's got a heap of admirers, right?" Duh, dummy," you muttered with a scowl. "That's why I know I have no chance, but whatever." "Yeah, you never know. She might just like your style," he said. "You do throw major tomboy vibes. She might just dig that." "Shut up," you pouted. "Anyway, I'll do it at lunch or after school or something." "Yeah, I'll be curious to see how you go," he said with an amused look in his eye as he followed you to your desk and sat down in the one beside you. You couldn't keep your eyes off Nezuko, though, and just watched her pretty self. What I wouldn't give to be with her," you sighed internally. Just then the teacher walked in and class started, so you had to hide your chocolates once again and focus on the class, but that was proving super difficult. First class went by, second class, first break, third class, fourth class, and then finally lunchtime, and you picked up your books and chocolates and left the room to go to your locker. As luck would have it, Nezuko was just ahead of you, and no one approached her, so you got to your locker and she opened hers a little way down from yours, and you took the opportunity to ask her if you could talk to her alone. "Hey, Nezuko?" you called across to her from your locker. She pulled her head back from her locker and smiled at you. "Hi, Yin," she said happily. "Hey, could I, talk to you?" you asked with an almost mumble and a buzzing in your cheeks. "Of course," she said, tilting her head with confusion at your sudden out-of-character shy behaviour. "Come," you said, with a jerk of your head as you turned and closed your locker and headed down the hall, not looking back over your shoulder and assuming that she was just going to follow you. Thankfully, she did, and you heard her locker close and then her footsteps behind you as you led her down to the end of the hall to where there was a dead end and no others around, and that's when you spun around to face her. "Here," you said hurriedly, with your head down as you thrust the chocolates out towards her. "These are for you." She was surprised at first and just stood there, but after a second she smiled sweetly and thanked you as she reached out for them. As soon as she took them from your hands, you went in for your second attack. "Would you consider dating me?" you suddenly asked, head still down and eyes now tightly closed in anticipation of her reply. The silence was deafening. Then it was broken by the ringing in your ears as your blood pressure skyrocketed. "How did you know?" her soft voice asked, being barely heard over the beating of your own heart in your ears. "Huh?" you asked, looking up at her. "Sorry, what?" "How did you know?" she asked with a blush on her cheeks. "Know what?" you asked, confused now. "That I liked you," she asked hesitantly. "Did someone tell you?" You stared at her. Had you just heard her correctly? Had she just said that she liked you? What? What was going on here? Suddenly wondering if this was a setup, you looked around for the people spying or cameras or something, but no one else was around. Just you two. You're messing, right? You asked as you straightened and looked at her. She shook her head. No, I've liked you for a while now, but from a distance. You're so cool, and I really like your style, but I didn't think you would ever notice me. You're close with all the boys, so I thought maybe you just liked boys, she said with a bashful smile. Nah, I was hanging out with them because I don't feel comfortable around girls. I like girls, so, But it was more that I couldn't bring myself to be in your presence. You're so cute, and I can't speak when I see you, you admitted boldly. This confession made her blush all over again, and she lifted her hands to hide her face from you. So, you asked bashfully, breaking the silence again. Is that a yes? Yeah, she nodded shyly. Yes, I accept, and I say yes to dating you. Holy crap, this is the best day, I swear, you said, grinning at her. So, can we walk home together? Let me get your details too. This is the best day, she said with her own smile as she took her phone from her pocket and handed it to you. I can't wait to get to know you more. Same, you said as you took her phone and put your info in. I'm glad I asked. I'm glad you asked too, otherwise I would have just kept watching you from afar and never gotten to know you, she said as she took her phone back from you and looked down at what you'd put in. Valentine, you'd put in her phone with your number there. She looked up at you. Just so you never forget, you said with a wink. Dang, we smooth. All right, stay tuned for next week. I've got another one shot coming. I know this is technically my break, but there will be just another little mini Christmas series coming up too with two My Hero Academia boys who are both vying for your attention. There's been a few asks for this pairing. I won't give anything away, and I'll see you when that starts on Christmas Day. See you then.